Tech Revision with Mrs. Swanee Pooh. Hi Year 11, this is the second video to help you with the multiple choice and short answer questions for your Year 11 mock. So in this video we're going to be covering some different types of kind of scales of manufacturing, and the main ones that we're going to be having a really quick look at are things that you maybe haven't heard of before. We've done just in time before, that's come up I think in a previous exam. We will go through that very, very quickly. Some of you will know that from business. But the two that we're going to have a look at in a bit more detail are these two. So flexible manufacturing systems and lean manufacturing. Remember again that this is going to be a multiple choice question, so you don't need to know too much detail. Hopefully by watching this video you'll be able to work out which one is the right answer when you come to the mock. So we are going to have a quick look at this first term called flexible manufacturing systems. These are manufacturing systems that can be easily adapted and changed. Okay, so if you're making any notes, you might want to make a note of that. They can be changed and easily adapted to make different products, to make different shaped products, to make different colors, to make whatever. Okay, so sometimes manufacturing systems are designed to make one thing, and they make that thing all day long, all night long in mass production or automated kind of production. And it might be that they make the lids on Pritt sticks and that's all they make. Okay, now flexible manufacturing systems can make a wide range of different products, and they can also easily respond to changes in what the user wants. So for example, the user might suddenly want green t-shirts when before everyone wanted red. A flexible manufacturing system would be able to respond to that and change quickly. Okay, so some of these pieces of equipment here at the top, so this one, and this one are all good examples of FMS, flexible manufacturing systems. Okay, and the reason they are all, you may want to make a note of this, they are all automated. So they are using computer aided manufacture. They can all be programmed quite easily, and then it can also do a large variety of different things. So for example, this one here, which is the laser cutter, it can cut a wide, oh gosh, what's going on with my pen? It can cut a wide range of different materials. It doesn't have to just cut wood or acrylic or whatever. You can put a wide range of different materials in there, and depending on the design that you put in, it can be easily changed. So in school we've got one. It's a very flexible manufacturing system, because I might have 10 different students in one day come up to me and ask me to make 10 different things, and that piece of machinery can do that. It is flexible. Same with a 3D printer. If you want to change what you are making on a 3D printer, you just change the file. Okay, it's really easy to do. All right, I'm going to stop writing because this is definitely not working. So you can easily change the file, change the what it's printing. You can even change the filament to a different color if you wanted to print something different. So this is, let's try one more time, 3D printer. Oh dear. This last one here is called a CNC router. You're going to have to take my word for it because that writing is horrendous. And again, we've got one of these in the workshop, and depending on how you program it, it can easily change, easily adapt, and cut out a wide range of different things. So these pieces of equipment can be easily changed and can adapt to change really quickly. In contrast to something like this down here, this is a injection molding machine, and we've spoken about this in lessons. This is very difficult to change what it is manufacturing. It takes time to change because you have to change the mold each time. And the mold can be a really big piece of stainless steel, very, very heavy. They cost a lot of money to make. So you would have to invest in a lot of different molds if you wanted to make a lot of different products, which gets very expensive. So you can see that an injection molding machine, like the one on the bottom there, is not flexible. It's not easy to quickly change what you are manufacturing, in contrast to those pieces of machinery at the top, which can really quickly change. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Right. Okay, the next thing we are going to talk about is called lean manufacturing. And this is actually a Japanese kind of manufacturing technique. And the idea of this is, you might want to be writing this down, is to minimize costs and maximize efficiency. So they look at all different areas of the manufacturing process and they think about how they can make it as lean, as streamlined, as efficient as possible. So there's lots of different things that they can look at, and Toyota, a Japanese car manufacturer, use lean manufacturing a lot. And what they do is they look at lots of different ways that things are wasted in the manufacturing process. So it could be that there is unnecessary transportation. That could be transportation around the factory. That could be transportation of parts across the country. Can they manufacture those in-house? So they might look at, can they streamline or slim down the amount of transportation that is going on in their production line? They also want to make sure that they are not overproducing products, so making sure that they're not making too many products that are not going to sell, wasting materials, wasting time, because what might happen is those may not be wanted by the customer, and that is not going to be efficient. They also would look at unnecessary motion. So a really good example of this is that on their assembly line, when they're making their cars, they make sure that all of the tools and equipment that they need are as close by as possible. So they don't have to walk halfway across the factories to grab a certain component or a certain tool. Everything is within arm's reach, which speeds up the manufacturing process. So it cuts down on any unnecessary moving around or walking around by the workers to make sure that things are made as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. They try and make sure that they don't have any excess inventory. So this links quite nicely to just-in-time production, which tries to make that you ensure that you don't have any excess materials. When something is ordered, it's made and it goes out straight away, so you don't have to store it. Okay. Another thing that they try and cut down on is any idle time or waiting around. So you don't want people in your production line to be stood there just waiting, having a cup of tea, waiting for the car to move down the assembly line. Can you make sure that they are doing something else, or that things can be done at the same time, so that no one is waiting or wasting any time? You can look at over processing, similar to overproduction. So thinking about not using too many materials, not again wasting those, very similar to overproduction. You try and reduce the amount of defects and the amount of mistakes that are made during the manufacture of the process. So by making sure that everything is really clear, everything is really well labelled, the workers know exactly what they are doing, reducing the defects is going to reduce costs and any kind of waste materials. And this one's really interesting, actually. In lean manufacturing, they really try and make sure that they are getting the workers' opinions on how they can improve the manufacturing process. So they might say, oh, I could do this rather than this. And they welcome that feedback and they use that to help improve the manufacturing process. So they're making sure they've got the right people in the right place. Okay. So lean manufacturing is trying to make it as streamlined, minimize costs and maximize efficiency by saving on all of these different things. Okay, and last but not least, really quickly, because just in time does link quite nicely with lean manufacturing. So just in time, the idea that you are only making a product when it's been ordered by the customer. So the customer would place an order, then you would order materials and components that you needed. It would be manufactured and then sent out straight away to the customer. So you are reducing the amount of materials that you need to store. You're stopping any of your products having to go into storage, like into warehousing, which would obviously cost a lot of lighting, security, heating, blah, 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 blah. Also, it means that you don't have loads of money tied up in materials that aren't being used. So lean manufacturing kind of has a similar kind of viewpoint with just-in-time. They're quite often used together. So just really quickly, some advantages of just-in-time. It reduces the amount of space needed for storage. You don't need massive warehouses. It means that you have less money tied up, meaning that you've got more money to spend in other parts of the business and invest in other parts of the business. But some disadvantages are you need to make sure that things are delivered on time, because if you don't have your materials delivered at time, on time, it's going to mean that the customer has to wait. And I'm currently waiting for the machinery for our new room, and I'm very grumpy about that. So sometimes that can lose you customers. You need to make sure that your products are made to a high standard, being fault-free, because, you know, if you wait that amount of time for a product to come, you want it to be of high quality. So advantages of just-in-time tie really nicely with lean manufacturing. It's all about reducing cost and maximizing efficiency. Okay, I hope that was useful. Again, it's only for that short little multiple choice. As long as you're happy with those concepts, you should be fine. Later.